Guess who's back, back again. Yes, I'm back. Tell a friend. Okay, so the last time I saw you guys, I was on the floor telling you basically how I decided to go ahead and take my finances seriously. Well, guys, there we go. All right, there we go. Well, guys, I am happy to inform you that that is exactly what happened, and I have a couple of notes that we're gonna go ahead and go over. So I started this on December 7th. So I have officially been 7 days in, which is 1 week, which is 1 week out of 12 weeks. And I'm going to tell you everything that I went over. So number one, first, I definitely got really serious on day one, and I just got clarity on where I currently was. And I wrote down all of my accounts, how much was in them, and how much I ideally wanted to be in them. And basically, here's some of my things. I wanted to make sure that all my credit cards were paid off, that I have $1,500 as my emergency fund, $10K in savings, $5K in my investments fund, $2K for my personal fund, and a sustainable income from VP Aesthetics, which is my current business. Open up an actual business account, extra income from online, and to up my credit score to 720. This is all within 90 days. On day two, I actually made a budget for each account, and I tracked what my weekly income was currently, and what I wanted it to grow to. So since then, mind you, it's only been 7 days. Since then, I have taken on another client. So I have increased my income, as well as I have started some digital products, which is basically all of the resources and checklists and kind of organizational tools that I'm keeping track of my current finances. I'm turning them into digital projects, turning them into digital products that can be accessible to anyone who is kind of going through this type of journey as well. And also, I am finishing up my Artfolio, which is my first book, and it's basically a compilation over the past 13 years of my artistry, and it's coupled with some self-development writings from journals that I've kept over the years that have really evolved with me over the time of me just evolving with my art in general, how my mindset has changed, things I have implemented, things I have outgrown, and just kind of like a mini peek into my life's journey through art. And so I am finishing that, and it will be available January 3rd. Woo! So very excited for all of those things. So yeah, that is basically how I have increased my income, as well as open an investment account. That is going to be the focus for this week, which will be technically week 2. And open my business bank account, which will also be technically week 2. So I feel like I'm making great momentum, having a great trajectory. I actually just got out of a business finance class just to kind of make sure that I have everything structured and applying for some grants for my business. And it turns out that I have been on the correct track, and I just needed some external validation of saying like, okay, you're on the right track, because really this road of entrepreneurship for me, I wouldn't say it's lonely, but I don't have too many friends that are actually doing it, or too many peers that I can like bounce ideas off of. And I'm really learning everything as I go. I don't have a mentor, and I'm very appreciative for where I have come and how I have really structured everything up until this point, and I've taken bits and pieces from when I did work in corporate to just learning on my own. And I feel like I've gotten a very great foundation laid out for myself. And now I am like picking up momentum and speed as far as, just being able to really be confident and put myself out there. I feel like I've done a lot of legwork. I've done my 10,000 hours to prove, like, my validity in my space. And now it's just really based upon the confidence of me. And so I think me going on this financial journey for myself is just really building security for myself and just showing that, hey, I can do it. I am doing it, and it's a great feeling. And it's a new feeling for me because when I have looked back at everything that I have accomplished and everything that I've done, and I didn't really realize that until finishing up my book. I was like, okay, you have a lot under your belt already. and I have a lot to show for it, and I'm just appreciative. More than anything, taking this financial journey of just like, materializing it in its physical form, I can honestly say it's more spiritual than anything for me. Like, it is really more of showcasing all of the internal work that I've done, all of the healing that I've done, all of the transmuting that I've done, all of the breaking generational curses that I've done, all of the things. And I'm very excited about it, and I can't really put it into words and explain it as much as I want to because I'm still in it. But I told my husband the other day, I was like, I'm never going broke again. Like, I'll never be broke again. I'll never be in like a impoverished state because I know fully what I possess. I know that I can literally create anything. And now it's just about me just truly deciding and sticking to my decisions and sticking to, my routine and saying what I'm going to do and just materializing it. And it's not necessarily a one size fits all, but for me and where I'm at on my journey, it's just more so of like really remaining confident in my abilities and taking on whatever life throws at me and just knowing that, okay, like I can handle it. I've already been through the ringer. I already know what it's like to struggle. I already know what it's like to conquer a struggle. So therefore, winning should be easy. Winning is easy. And that's kind of like my mindset with this journey now, is just like, okay, now it's time to apply everything. I said for the rest of December, which today is Sunday, the December 14th, that I'm not going to consume anymore or take in anymore as far as like anything on social media or content wise. And I'm just really going to execute on the things that I want to see for the following year, really materialize and just really, go full steam ahead with it and build as much momentum as possible. Definitely not, broadcasting so much. So I'm happy to be able to share this journey because this is something that I'm comfortable with sharing in real time. And something that I also can feel like be not only leveraged, but be able to follow along with, that everyone can relate to in some type of degree or form. And I just want to show you guys in real time, like, it's possible. You can do it. And does it take, a lot of work? I would say the work mostly is just making sure that you're committing to yourself and keeping the promises that you make to yourself, and, really pouring into yourself. Like, all of this is self. And I think the biggest thing is, while I'm on this journey and while I am pursuing this, is just taking full responsibility and being accountable for all of my actions, being accountable for everything that I put in my path and how I'm going to conquer it and how I'm going to achieve whatever I set out to do. And, just not placing the blame on any outside factors. It's like, okay, but at the end of the day, like, if I'm pointing the finger, how many fingers are pointing back at me, So just really being mindful and making every decision count, because it's either I'm depositing into my future self, into the reality I want, or I'm staying stagnant and I'm withdrawing from what I currently could be giving myself. And that's kind of like, that's it. It's no gray area right now. It's very much so a black and white. Am I working towards what I actually want, or am I giving an excuse as to why I can't do it? So that's pretty much where I'm at. So yeah, that's what we have going for the second week. And like I said, the questions that came up was, if I could monetize my creativity, what would it look like? What are 3 solutions that I can solve for someone else that I've already conquered myself? And what does today bring? And what is one smart money move that I can actually make today? And these are 3 questions that I really have been asking myself over the past 7 days, and that I'll continue to ask myself during this 90-day tenured, and so on and so forth. So I'm very excited about this. All right, so one of the things that I felt like was a very great asset for me to learn, like I said, I've been taking different master classes and just reading up on things that can actually benefit me into where I'm going. And I do have a current business right now that is transitioning from a cleaning service to interior design and conceptual designs, which really gears more into what I want to actually do. And I'm going back to school, but I've decided to go back to school, and this is the whole thing. So a lot has changed in the past 7 days, let me tell you. But when one of the master classes that I took, it was a very informational one, and it was probably the best one that I really enjoyed. But I call it the Big 8, and basically it's the basic structure that you want to have for your business. So I know a lot of people that have great ideas, but they maybe don't know how to structure it. And while I'm in the midst of, making sure that everything is flowing and automated, even when I'm not, here, and I'm now more so focusing on working on my business versus in my business, this was like a really big thing. So the Big 8 for the basic business structure, and I'll leave like a link or something later on in the description of this video that'll link like basically all of the resources and templates and stuff that I've been using and I've created them for my own journey. And I'm going to be dropping all of those probably like right at Christmas time. I'll be dropping all of those to be accessible to everyone else. So the Big 8 for your basic business structure: number 1, you want to have your LLC, your EIN. EIN is free, that you can get on irs.gov. LLC, depending on your state, mine was $100 in the state of Oklahoma. Basically, it just covers, shields you as a person and gives you separation between yourself and your actual business. Then you want to make sure you have a business address. Even if you're working out of your house, you can get a virtual address. I have a virtual address. It cost me $14.99 a month. A business bank account. I'm opening up my business bank account this month, but I have had a separate account strictly for my business through Venmo, and it is a business account, and so far it's giving me no problems. And it can be optimized in order to go into like a QuickBooks or any type of accounting software. But that's later on. You don't need that. A LLC annual report. So basically, like, saying what the business has done over the term of a year. So I have cleared over 10K within my business, which is really, really good for me, especially being a solopreneur and doing everything myself, from the marketing to the actual service to, just making sure that I have just everything structured on top of being a mom. So, and not having a 9 to 5. So I'm very appreciative of where I have grown my business and how I'm going to continue growing it. So this is exciting for me, and I'm very appreciative of where it's going to go and where it's going to lead me, and how I can rinse and repeat this model into more endeavors. And then these were really not talked about in any other masterclass that I've taken, as far as, things that you will actually need. But she talked about three contracts that you're going to need. So number one, your operating agreement, basically how your LLC is ran, what governs your LLC, and how your business runs. The second one is your copyright transfer. So that way you own all the logos, videos, content. I make all of my content. I make everything that I market. I make everything that I sell. So I don't technically have any issues when it comes to that. But say, for instance, like, you outsource or you hire a graphic designer or anything like that, technically they own those images or those products if you do not have it in writing, a copyright transfer, and you want to have that agreement, as well as an NDA, and it's pretty much your confidentiality agreement, as far as, like, the secret sauce, basically extrapolated to Mr. Krabby Patty secret formula. You don't want plankton to get it, so you don't want, like, your competitors to get your secret sauce of how you run your business, whether that be your customer list, whether that be your vendors list, whether that be, any type of formulas, any type of trade secrets that you have. You wouldn't want to hand that over to your competitor in a business aspect, so you want to have that set in place. And then I kind of went into, like, more of multiple businesses, but those were the big 8 that I felt like, okay, this is a great start to make sure that I have this already checked off my list, which I do. And also going into, like, business grants, because I'm now at a point where I have fully self-funded my business the entire time. And now I'm like, okay, I've built up enough revenue. I've built up enough, like, validation. I built up enough rapport and enough in my portfolio that I want to start applying for grants. And I didn't know necessarily how grants worked, and of course I had to educate myself on them. But basically, grants look for, if it's in alignment with, obviously, the grant, if it's structured, if your business is structured properly, and if it's actually going to make an impact. And so I'm very appreciative, because now, having done all the back work, and I wish I would have known this prior to doing my business, because I probably would have reached the grant process a little bit sooner. But now I know what grants are asking for. Now I know how to properly apply for them. And I have everything already checked off in order, so that way my business is structured appropriately for me to even get approved for a grant. So here are a couple of the things that you want to make sure that you are notifying the grant about. Like, during your application process, this is, like, what they look for. You don't want to ask for, like, they're giving you money, so you don't want to say, oh, I need it for operating expenses or to pay myself or, to catch up on bills or anything. You don't want to really say any of that, because then that's showing, number one, like, it's a negative connotation to your business. And number two, it's showing that it's, like, probably not profitable. So, like, how is this money really going to help you? It sounds like you're more of in a desperate need versus actually growing and scaling the business. And I've realized to ask for, things such as like inventory or equipment, or maybe I need to rent a space, or, software for my business to run and be automated. Maybe some type of restructuring or marketing within my business, advertisement, payroll for others. Like, maybe I need to hire out because I'm wearing too many hats, which is the spot that I'm in currently. And any type of professional fees. So those are things that the grants want you to like consider asking for within your grant. And now that I've got that down pat, as well as a structured business portfolio, I'm very eager and intrigued, and I can't wait to tell you guys like, what I've applied for and what I got. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And I'll leave some resources of where you can find grants, the grants that I've been looking at. And, a lot of them just want to make sure that, you're just doing the right thing and within alignment of what their mission is as well. Because at the end of the day, it's free money that you don't have to pay back. So yeah, that has been my first week within my finances. I have some wins. My first win is I was able to pay all my bills. My second win is I have money in all of my accounts, so that's great. And my third win is now I have a full-on clarity structure on how I am going to grow this thing, and I'm very excited, and I got more clients, so I'm getting more income, as well as I'm creating more assets for myself and my business. So that is very exciting, and we're just continuing moving on a forward trajectory to be able to create the life that we want, which we love that. So yeah, this is my weekly update. I realize I'm probably gonna do a video every Sunday of how this is going for me, and just kind of like an overview of what I've done in the week. And like I said, I will be dropping all of the resources and things that I'm utilizing during this process, so that way you can do it for yourself as well. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming along this journey with me. Let me know if you have any questions or anything in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.